If you clicked on this video, you may be feeling a little discouraged about moving to Salem, Oregon, or you may be having some questions, or you're just not so sure if it's the right move for you. Well, I can completely relate and understand what you're going through, as my family and I relocated to Salem, Oregon just about a few years ago, and at first we were a little discouraged and had some second thoughts. There wasn't a lot of information out there on YouTube at the time, especially from people that have relocated from outside of the Pacific Northwest and from coming from a big city. So I'm putting this video together to go over some of the things that people are most discouraged about Salem, Oregon, and then I'm going to kind of talk about maybe some of the positive spins of maybe why not to be so discouraged about some of these items. I remember having many long, heartfelt conversations with my wife. This was going to be a big move for us. It was actually going to be the first time either one of us had moved out of state from where we were coming from to Salem, Oregon. We weren't sure. We were concerned about things like public education for our kids. We had 2 young kids. We were concerned about, was the city going to be too small? Was there going to be enough amenities? Again, coming from a large city, we had certain requirements that we felt like we needed. And honestly, we weren't sure about the weather. The Pacific Northwest is known for rain and gray skies and some other issues that I'm going to address in this video. So stay tuned. I'm hopefully going to answer some questions that you may have and maybe even dispel some of the discouraging things that you've heard about moving to Salem, Oregon. All right, the first thing that you may be feeling a little discouraged about is whether the city of Salem is big enough and has enough amenities for you and your lifestyle, especially if you are moving from a larger city. Now, right off the bat, I will say we definitely do not have as many options as far as your entertainment choices go as a big city. As far as your needs and your necessities and those types of amenities, Salem has you covered. We've got big box shopping, we've got local stores, we've got restaurants, we've got supermarkets, we've got all sorts, anything that you need, we have. I mean, after all, we are a mid-sized city technically, although we feel like we are a smaller city, kind of more of a charm of a small city. But as far as your basic needs and necessities, hospitals, medical care, everything is here. Where I say the amenities may be lacking for you as far as entertainment goes, dining experience, high-end shopping or the shopping experience, that's where we may fall short for you. And this is where we were a little discouraged, although some of these things weren't necessarily a priority. We were used to a certain way of life. Coming from Los Angeles, we had everything at our fingertips, the shopping, the dining, and entertainment. We can drive in any direction and hit up a spot. Where in Salem, it's a little bit more planned out. You've got to find it sometimes. Things aren't just readily available at your fingertips. And if you are looking for the large events, like the large music events, large entertainment events, the concerts, a lot of different types of museums, big museums, and that type of cultural entertainment, then Salem may not be the right fit for you, or you may have a little bit of a culture shock. The good news is Portland isn't all that far away. If you absolutely need it and you still choose to move to Salem, it's about an hour drive and you can have all of that. Now, that's not to say that Salem doesn't have its entertainment, because we do. Oh, also, if you're into professional sports, we don't have really any professional sports here in Salem. You've got to go into Portland or up even further into Seattle. We do have sporting events here. We've got some private baseball teams. We've got lots of sporting events that happen here. It's just as far as professional sports go, we don't have that here. But let's talk about some of the things that you will absolutely find in Salem and that we've come to enjoy. My family and I have found many ways to entertain ourselves and finding fun things to do throughout the city and throughout the year. As far as museums and the arts goes, we have the Hallie Ford Museum, which is an art museum that specializes and shows off the Pacific Northwest art and artists. We have the Willamette Heritage Museum, which kind of goes over the history of the area. We have the Bush House Museum. It has exhibits and a lot of events there, and it's connected to the Bush Park, so a lot of cool walking trails. They have the Art Festival, which is also at the Bush House or the Bush Park, which is an annual event which brings in local artists and regional artists, and actually artists from around the state come here. It's a big event during the summer. We have the Gilbert House Museum, which is a really cool children's museum, hands-on activities. They've got summer camps. My kids go there for summer camps, and we bring them there for cool entertainment. We've got the Deepwood Museum, which is a historic home. They offer tours, and they've got events there, and you can rent out space. And we've got a handful of art galleries. But if you're looking for large natural history museums or science museums or just a big zoo, you're not going to find that in Salem. You're going to have to go into Portland. Now, if you're somebody who likes events or community gatherings or fairs, we do have you covered. Not nearly the amount of options that you're going to find in large cities like Portland and Seattle and other big cities, but we do have them here, and we've grown to really enjoy the atmosphere here. For one big reason is we're not dealing with the massive amounts of crowds and congestion that you typically find in the large cities where you have these events. But we've got the state and county fair that's really big here. We've got the art festival, which I'd mentioned before. We have the Ironman. We have World Beat Festival. We've got music festivals in downtown. We have Ag Fest, which highlights the agricultural community, which is really big here in the surrounding areas around Salem. We have Hoopla, which they shut down a lot of parts of downtown, and they've got thousands of people playing basketball, 3-on-3 basketball, that brings in people, not just from the state, from around the country that come here and compete. It's a really cool event. We've got holiday festivals that happen throughout the city during the holidays, and we also have concerts and movies in the parks throughout the city, which is really nice to bring your family and kids to, especially on the warm summer evenings that we have here in Salem. Now let's talk about a little bit about your dining and nightlife. Now this is where we struggled a bit, and we still struggle a little bit. Coming from a big city, we had all types of food, from all types of ethnicities and all types of nationalities at our fingertips, and there were not just a few options, but plenty of options to choose from. And we love to explore, try new foods, try new restaurants, try new chefs, and we just don't quite have that opportunity here in Salem. Now, I will say we do have some really nice, fine restaurants here. Most of it's going to be located in the downtown area. We just don't have a lot of them. As far as different types of food from different types of nationalities, we do have our options here, but again, you're just limited compared to other big cities. Now, as far as casual eats go, we've got you covered, no problem. But if you're looking for more of that unique dining experience, it may be a little bit lacking. But I will say the really cool thing that we learned about Salem is that we've got a lot of farm-to-table options here and a lot of seasonal menus that pop up here that we've grown to enjoy that we didn't really have. We did have it in Los Angeles because Los Angeles is a big food mecca, but it feels different here. We are surrounded by countryside, surrounded by farmland, and the local produce, the local farmers contribute, the chefs shop from them, the restaurants shop from them. At the Saturday market that happens during the spring and summer, they're getting their fresh vegetables and fresh fruits, even fresh cuts of meat from the local farmers in the area, and you can really taste the difference. And seasonal menus, because everything is so close, the restaurants change out their menus quite often, so it makes it fun. Even though we don't have a lot of options as far as where to choose from, you can go to the same restaurant multiple times over throughout the year, and you're going to see different menu items, which is a really fun experience for us. Now, for those of you that need some retail therapy or just love your shopping experience, I will say we are lacking here, and I really haven't found any good replacements for that. We do have our big box shopping areas, like our big outdoor shopping centers, the Willamette Town Center here in Salem, which will have a lot of your big box stores, your Best Buy, your Home Goods, Hobby Lobby, TJ Maxx. There's a movie theater there. There's a Barnes and Noble. And more. We also have Kaiser Station, which isn't technically in Salem, but it's in our sister city, just adjacent north of us. It's a newer shopping center that also has your big box shopping as well. There's the Target out there. And Target is across from the Willamette Town Center in Salem, but there's a newer Target in the Kaiser Station area, and there's some restaurants, and there's more things that are popping up in that area. There is a mall that is downtown. I will say at the moment, at this filming, it's a little defunct, it's a little outdated, but there are a lot of, there's a developer that came in and is going to be revitalizing the indoor shopping mall that we have here to bring in some new stores, new restaurants. There's a new Italian place that just opened up there. There is a movie theater there that's attached to this shopping center. That's actually Regal Theater. They are going out of business, but we were told that an independent theater is coming in to take its place. So there will be still a movie theater connected to there. Outside of that, that's kind of it. Downtown does have some shopping. They've got some nice, cool little boutiques, some cool antique stores, and some fun little shops here and there, but not that many. And so there is a really cool used bookstore down there, Book Bin, which is really cool if you're into that. But outside of that, you need to go into Portland for your bigger shopping experience, and especially if you want more of that high end and a lot of boutique experience, then you're going to need to go into the Portland area. There, in between us and Portland, there is the Woodburn Outlets, which is a big outlet center. It's about 20 minutes away from Salem or so. You can get your shopping done there. But if you're looking for a really cool shopping experience, Salem's not going to be it. So, as I mentioned, big city amenities, lack of options, maybe, but we do have them here. We do have options, and my family and I have found many ways to entertain ourselves and have no problem finding the food that we like and the shopping that we need and the entertainment that we want. And we love the events that happen throughout here. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I am a local real estate agent. If not, I am Dave Fein with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty. My team and I love helping people move to and relocate to Salem and surrounding areas. I can definitely understand what you're going through. I can understand the big move, maybe some of the questions that you have, because as I mentioned, my family and I have relocated here, so we can absolutely relate to that experience. Hit us up at the contact information popping up or in the description below so we can help answer any questions you have, help you with your move, help you find a great home here in Salem, Oregon. If you like what you see, hit the like button, get the video out to many other people that are like yourselves thinking about moving to Salem, and hit subscribe for more videos. Number 2 on the list of things that may discourage people from moving to Salem, Oregon is the limited job opportunity. Now, this is changing as more and more people and more industry is coming into Salem. But if you're moving here and you yourself don't have a job, or your spouse don't have a job, or your partner looking for a work here before moving here, you may have some limited options. Now, if you're someone that works remote, which a lot of people are moving to Salem, there are a lot of remote workers getting out of that big city life, ditching the big city life, coming to a smaller city, and still being close enough to the big city and still having the amenities and the things that we talked about in the previous section where your entertainment needs will be met. Remote workers are a big force that is moving here to Salem. But if you are looking for a career change, you've got to be aware of some of the industries that we have here and then some of the industries that we may be lacking that are actually on the rise. Now, Salem, Oregon is the capital of Oregon, so no surprise. Government jobs is probably one of the biggest employers here in Salem. We've got state jobs, county jobs, city jobs, and some federal level jobs. But the state capital here, you can imagine a lot of government jobs here, and it's all pretty much centralized in the downtown area. So if you are thinking about moving here and thinking about which neighborhoods will put you close to work, the good news is no matter where you live in Salem, you're only about 20 minutes out. So if you're in the outskirts of Salem, 25 minutes gets you into the downtown area. And of course, if you live closer, it's even a shorter commute. But if you're looking for government work and growth and opportunities, Salem absolutely has you covered. Now, where we also meet the bill is the education system. We have, or in the field of education, we have Willamette University, which is a private university here in Salem, Oregon. We have Chemeketa Community College, which is a big community college that we have here in Salem and the surrounding areas. And then we have the Salem Kaiser School District. So anywhere between K through college and university, we've got you covered, and it's a big, big employer for the city of Salem. So if you're in that field, you've really got nothing to worry about. If you're in the healthcare field, you also may not have to worry about job opportunities here. And don't worry, I'm going to get into some of the fields that you may have some concern about if you are moving to Salem. But healthcare, we've got Salem Health, which is the biggest employer in Salem as far as the healthcare services go. But we've got a lot of medical fields and medical practices and doctors' offices and subcategories in the medical industry that are very widespread in Salem. So healthcare industry should have no problem finding work and being upward mobile in that career as well. The other industry we're big on is agriculture, where we have people that are moving here to be part of the agriculture community, not necessarily farmers that are, again, we have a lot of farmland that are surrounding us. So you don't necessarily have to be a farmer, but any supportive industry that helps support the agriculture industry is really big here in the city of Salem because of how much farmland surround us. And we have the Willamette wine country, which is right adjacent to Salem. So we have a lot of industry that supports them as well. So if you're looking for agricultural business or the support business, got you covered. Now let's talk about some of the things that we are lacking, because that's probably what you're tuning in for in case you are in one of these fields. We are lacking in the tech field. We don't have a big tech industry here in Salem. In fact, a lot of people that are in the tech field may live in Salem and commute to Portland, or they're working remotely, which of course is a big option in the tech field. But if you're looking for work specifically in Salem in the tech industry, it may be a little bit more challenging, or if you're looking for more upward mobility, it may be more challenging. We also lack headquarters here. So as far as big businesses, big employers in large corporations, we don't necessarily have that here in Salem. That's going to be more in your large city experience, Portland and Seattle, and whatever other large cities that you'd be considering over Salem when thinking about making your move. And even if something like working in the corporate headquarters is not a big deal to you, it's really how it affects kind of the whole economic ecosystem, right? Because when you have these corporations, they tend to flood the cities and the neighborhoods with more money, which creates more infrastructure, which creates more jobs. It's kind of like a domino effect. So because Salem lacks that, we kind of struggle in that corporate finance, that corporate ecosystem. It's just a little bit slower growth here in Salem compared to some of your bigger cities. Another field that's really growing nationwide is like marketing and advertising. So if you're in that field, it's a little lacking here. Now, I will say, as Salem continues to grow and the business community continues to grow and the service community continues to grow, marketing and advertising services are more and more needed. So I'm seeing more niche companies, more people pop up and providing those services. So really it all affects each other. But if you're looking for something immediate or a lot of opportunities, we really don't have that here. And I'll say the same thing for financing and engineering as well. Although engineering is starting to grow again because of how big the agricultural industry is here, and just industry is growing a little bit more here. And people are working remote, so we're having more engineers kind of come into the community of Salem. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, I will just commute to Portland, no big deal. And some people do. Now, if you plan on doing that 5 days a week, that could get annoying. It may actually take away from the idea of moving to a smaller city, because you're going to be on the road for at least an hour in each direction. And if for whatever reason the Interstate 5 freeway gets there's an accident or the weather's affected, you're going to run into congestion either way getting in and out of Portland. It's going to be most likely more than an hour. On some of those bad days, it could be double that. And so just be prepared for that. Now, if it's just a couple days a week, you'll probably be okay with that. But just keep in mind, many of my other videos, and I've talked about how Portland is really not that far, but it's mainly for purposes if you just want to go into the big city for some entertainment, a nice little weekend where you're not doing it daily or fighting the rush hour traffic. That's a little bit of a different story. Now, the third thing that kind of discourages people from moving to Salem is the lack of public transportation. There may be some expectations because the city of Salem is the capital of Oregon. We are a mid-sized city technically. There really isn't a lot of good mass transit here. And more people are looking for other ways of transportation, kind of getting away from the car, getting away from being stuck in traffic. And a lot of this is the mentality of people moving from a big city, and they're used to public transportation. They're used to being able to jump on a scooter and one of those rental scooters that you can commute anywhere in the big city. It's not like that here in Salem. We really don't have any above ground rail systems, no trolleys that you're going to find like in Portland or Seattle. We don't have any underground subways, that's for sure. We have a bus system. It's called the Chariots. It'll take you throughout the city, but it doesn't really get you everywhere you need to go. And it's very limited during the evenings and the weekends if you're looking at that for as far as entertainment goes and not having to be in your car. Also, when you go to big cities, it's kind of a big thing to jump on one of the Bird scooters or Lyft scooters or Lime scooters or whatever brand of scooters you have in your big city. You can just rent and check out and kind of scoot anywhere you want. We don't really have that here in Salem. We're just not built that way. We're a little bit more sprawled out. We do have the downtown area. It's only about 7 blocks, and about half of that is government buildings. The other half is actually the charming downtown that I've grown to love. But really, everything else is so spread out. So if you're still someone that just really loves your accessibility to mass transit, not having to be in a car, and you're moving from that big city and that's what you're used to, you're absolutely not going to find that here in Salem. Now, for us, my family and I, it was not a big deal. We came from Los Angeles, which is a car culture place. We do have mass transit, but everyone loves being in their cars in Los Angeles. And the good news, though, is that when you come to Salem, traffic is not bad at all. And I know locals and people that have lived here for years and years and years will say traffic has gotten worse, and I have no doubt that it has as more people make Salem their home, has become more of a destination as people flee the big city. But it is absolutely not a big deal here. Take it from me, someone who's relocated from a large city to Salem. There's a rush hour here in the morning and in the evenings, but it may add 5 minutes, 10 minutes to your commute. I'll say the one place where it can get a little dicey is the bridge that connects West Salem to the rest of Salem, the bridge over the Willamette River. If the bridge shuts down, which is a big deal, or if it gets an accident or a lane closure, it will certainly add more time to your commute. And if you don't have to go over the bridge during that time, most people don't. But if you got to get into work or something's happening that you need to get to, that'll add some time, 20, 30 minutes, if not longer. But it's rare that happens, and everywhere else, it's pretty light. And so if you have to be in your car, again, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get anywhere if you're in traffic, if there's a little bit of traffic. The Interstate 5 freeway, that can get traffic. It's sometimes it's only 2 lanes in some places when you get on the outside of Salem, and that could be a problem. But inside the city, it's really no big deal. And parking is really pretty easy here. There's a lot of free parking lots. There's a few paid areas in the downtown area, but most of the parking's free. And so driving here is not a big deal. Now, if you're someone that likes walkability and easy access, that may be a little bit challenging too. As I mentioned, we're pretty sprawled out here. There are a few communities, a few neighborhoods where you can have that quote unquote walkability or ride a bike or not need your car, I should say, to get to your entertainment and amenities. Starting in the downtown area, although there's not a lot of housing options in the downtown area specific. Just south of downtown is Bush Park area. We call it South Central, Bush Pasture Park area. Beautiful, historic, charming homes over there. That's just a few blocks away from the downtown area. And so you theoretically don't need a car if you really most of your entertainment or work is going to be downtown. Same with the Grant area, which is a little north of the downtown area. Same idea, historic, really cute homes. A little smaller homes, a little bit older, but still just a few blocks away from the downtown area. And then if you live in West Salem, in the Flats area, that's also very easily accessible to your amenities without needing a car. But outside of that, in all likelihood, you're going to need a car. So you may be disappointed, and it may be a little discouraging for people that absolutely rely on mass transit. You may be moving here and you don't have a car. Let's say you've got a family and you'll have one car. You'll probably need 2 if you both commute to work. And if you don't have any cars because you relied so heavily on mass transit, that may change moving to Salem. All right, number 4 on the list of things that may discourage people from moving to Salem, and this was a big one for us. And as a real estate agent, this is the one I hear quite frequently from clients that are considering here. This is one of the things they ask for first and foremost is the weather. If you've seen my other videos, you know I talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it again because it is a big factor when moving to the Pacific Northwest. Not just Salem, but the Pacific Northwest. But because you are thinking about moving to Salem, we're talking about it specifically. We were warned by some neighbors when we were in Los Angeles who actually came from the PNW that said, be prepared. You're not going to be ready for it. Knowing that we were from sunny Southern California and didn't live in a rainy area, they said, you don't know what you're in for. And didn't think we could ever be prepared, and actually had some real legit questions of whether we would adjust. Now, if you're someone that suffers from seasonal depression or really struggles without the sun, this is something that can be very discouraging. Let's say your heart is set on Salem and your heart is set on the Pacific Northwest. This is something that really may discourage you because I'm not going to sugarcoat this. We have about 150 days of rain now. Gray skies very often as well. And so it's very real. And if you're coming from a place of sun or you're just not used to that amount of gray skies and rain, it could really affect you. Now, I love the sun. I love being outdoors. My family and I are big outdoors people. I came from a beach area, so this was a big adjustment. I will not lie. The first year was tough. But after that, I've come to enjoy all of the seasons that we have here. But there are some times where I'm looking up and I'm like, okay, when is that sun going to break through those clouds? Or, okay, it's been raining here for about 5 days straight. I'm kind of done. Now, the good news is, as far as the rain goes, it rains consistently, but it's a lighter rain. We don't have these massive storms that roll through, maybe 1 or 2 that come in. They don't last very long as far as these like big storms that just dump rain. It's more of this lighter rain or a misty rain. So even that could be kind of annoying. You're just like, hey, will you rain already? Just rain, but it's just kind of there, so it's kind of wet. And for me, it's really not even the rain that gets to me. It's kind of the gloomy and the gray skies. That's actually worse for me than the rain itself. When it's gloomy and gray, it's not raining. You're like, all right, I'm kind of over this. Whereas the sun, and when the sun peeks out, it's like, it's beautiful. The sun is shining and everyone kind of awakens. So I am used to it now. I've been a few years into it, but I'm used to it in the sense that I'm good with it normally. But I will say, even throughout the year, or throughout that rainy or gray sky seasons, which basically is fall and winter, there's a couple days where I'm like kind of over it. But for the most part, I'm good. I will say that we have beautiful springs and amazing summers here. It's actually quite spectacular, and it's green. And the reason why we have all this lush greenery, and the reason why the Pacific Northwest is so attractive for the outdoors, is because of how much rain we get. We got to support the plants and support the trees and the flowers that really bloom here in the spring and during the summer. We have very mild summers, tolerable temperatures. It's not muggy at all. It's a dry heat, which is great. And then, as I mentioned, even during the fall and winter when we're having the rain seasons, we're not having like tornadoes or monsoons or hurricanes, which is fantastic. We don't have massive snowstorms that roll through. We get some dusting of snow that may last a few days, once or twice a year. We do get maybe an ice storm that comes in once a year that lasts a few days, but it's not like other parts of the country. So overall, our temperatures and our weather is quite mild compared to many parts of the country. It's just, if you're someone that needs that sun, you may struggle here, and it can be discouraging. So I would highly recommend coming to Salem during all the seasons, but specifically during the fall and winter, to make sure that you have an understanding of what it's like. If you are an outdoors family like my family and I are, then there are days where your kids are kind of looking outside longingly like, hey, we want to go outside and just play freely, or maybe we're thinking we want to hit up one of the more rigorous trails and we're just don't want to do that in the rain. That could get a little discouraging sometimes. But people go out and about and do their thing during the rain here. It doesn't stop you from doing your daily life. You get a nice set of rain clothes, some rain boots, a rain jacket, and you're good. Pro tip, if you have an umbrella, you may be looked at as an outsider. I won't say some locals will pop open an umbrella, but for the most part, umbrellas aren't even used here just because we're so used to it and it's a way of life. I'll say this, if you have children, it does add an element. It takes a little bit longer to get ready because you got to put on layers. It takes a little bit more effort to, when you get home, to get off those layers. So in that way, it's a little different, but no big deal. In the grand scheme of things, we absolutely love the seasons here. We love the lush green here. It's one of the big drawing factors for us to move to Salem, get out of the city. We didn't like the brick and steel and tall high-rise buildings blocking out our sun. We wanted to be surrounded by nature, and so you will absolutely find that here, and it's mainly because of how much rain we do get here in Salem. All right, the fifth thing that people get discouraged about moving to Salem, Oregon, and this one was a pretty big one for my family and I. We had 2 young kids, and education was a big deal for us. Now, for some people, maybe not as concerning. Maybe some people homeschool, so no big deal, or maybe there's just not a big emphasis on that, and that's fine. But for us, we were a little concerned. We wanted to make sure our kids had a good experience, got a good education, the schools were safe, or we felt safe at least for our kids. And so we did a bunch of research, and we will say that it wasn't the most encouraging thing that we were finding. The test scores, they're average, on par with the state. Maybe some areas a little bit lower. The facilities seemed a little bit older for the most part here in Salem. And the class sizes can tend to be a little bit larger than what we were used to in the Los Angeles area, where they limited you to 20 per class. And we weren't sure about just the access to maybe some of the updated equipment. So these were all questions that we had and were important to us, raising 2 young kids. Now, I will say, coming from Los Angeles, our expectations to get better weren't, it wasn't hard to do. Los Angeles Unified School District is awful. My mom was a teacher there. I won't go into that whole thing. It's an awful school districts. So we felt like we could do better. But you may be coming from an area that has fantastic schools, a great district, very involved. And so this is something you may want to consider. And if you've looked already at greatschools.org, which is a site you can go to look up different schools and see what their test scores are. You can go to niche.com, which is more of a community-based site where you can find out about local schools and what people say. You may not be encouraged. So I will say from personal experience, this isn't the experience of everybody, but we found a neighborhood that we felt like had a good enough school. We talked to neighbors. We talked to people that we knew sent their kids there, and they all had some great things to say. And I will say we're at a school that our kids absolutely love. It's an older facility. It's actually one of the oldest schools in Salem. And we thought that may be an issue, but it isn't. The teachers are fantastic. They're very involved. The parents and the community are very involved as well, making the school very nice. And I've heard a lot of things, similar things about many schools in the Salem area. Now, that's not to say that there are schools that don't struggle here, because they absolutely do. You're going to find that in any city you go to, of course. But we just were discouraged because the scores maybe didn't look as high as and the ratings didn't look as high as we thought they would be. But it turns out we feel like our kids are getting a great education, and we are very happy with it. Now, we're on the elementary level. As far as the middle school and high schools go, I actually think it gets even better, especially when it comes to high schools. There's some really good programs here, great academics here, AP courses, there's magnet programs, there's the tag program here, there's extracurricular programs here, there's language immersion programs that are becoming more popular here in the elementary level. And then middle school as well. We've heard some good things. We've also heard some discouraging things. Middle school is one of those weird periods of school years that can be hit or miss. I remember that growing up. I remember that just helping clients in Los Angeles and now helping clients here in Salem. Now, as far as higher education goes, we have a couple universities here. So if you're thinking about going to school locally, there are some, or one university, I should say, and then there's some good community college options as well. So as far as education goes, it could be a mixed bag, but I will say I wouldn't base everything just on scores and ratings. That can be a little deceptive, and this comes from experience. As far as we feel like the experience that we're having isn't matching necessarily the school ratings. I think one of the most important things you can do when you come to visit Salem and you're thinking about an area that you like or a neighborhood, actually talk to neighbors and people that send their kids to the schools that are connected to that house, and you'll get honest feedback. You can also go to the school itself, talk to the administrators there, tell them you're thinking about enrolling, and you can get a sense of how things are operated, how things work there. You may even get a tour of the school and the facilities. These are all things that you could be very proactive about, and as a real estate agent, I highly encourage you to do things like that. For me, it's no different when I take clients out looking for houses and I see neighbors walking around the neighborhood, or I'll even knock on the door of the house next door to the house that they enjoy or that they like, and talk to the neighbors to get their honest perspective of the neighborhood. People are really eager to share and be honest with you about that experience. I do want to mention, going back to the personal experience here with the schools and being happy with them, there are a couple of things that I won't say they're red flags, but there's certainly things that we are looking over, and that is funding. But again, this kind of goes to many school districts across the country. They're always looking for funding. There's always seems to be a lack of funding for teachers and for programs and for school supplies and whatnot. And this is where community involvement becomes really important, to get the local donations from local businesses and a lot of parent or guardian involvement as well to help the schools out when it comes to funding sources. But I do notice that there can be a lack of funding. So overall, you just want to check out your local schools and the neighborhoods and see what's a good fit for you when moving to Salem, Oregon. So if you are less discouraged after watching this video, that's awesome. I'm glad. I know it can be overwhelming when making the move. I've done it. I'm a local real estate agent, so I completely can relate to you on many levels. If you are thinking about making the move, reach out to the contact information that's popping up right now on the screen or in the description below, and my team and I will be happy to help you with your move to Salem, Oregon. Again, if you love what you see here, subscribe to the channel to get more videos. Hit the like button to get this video out to as many more people like yourselves who are thinking about moving to Salem. And we'll see you on the next video.